About 10 years ago, I looked at my life and I realized I was everywhere in it. In my relationship, in my work, with my friends. And actually, I was nowhere in it. There was no tab, only the servant running in my body, using my voice, taking up my identity. I was 28 years old before I saw it clearly. And if you are older or younger than that right now, you are not late. You are exactly on time. Last week, I've talked about the voice in the head trying to rule on how we show up. Check out the video after you finish this one. Now we go one layer deeper. The voice within is not all of you, it is a part. The voice, it's a strategy that formed at a specific age in a very specific environment around a specific threat. And it was the most intelligent response available at the time. The problem is not that the strategy formed. The problem is that it kept running long after the threat is gone. It runs in rooms, in events, in relationships, years and years, most probably decades. Still, doing the job it was built to do in a world that no longer needs it the way it once did. That protective strategy does not release because your mind understands it. It only releases when it trusts that safety is present. And that trust is built through practice, time, and presence. I come from two family lines where service was the identity, not a value and not a choice, an identity for survival. The pattern showed up like this: your value is what you give. You are only visible when you are useful. Give, serve, show up, and do not ask what remains for you. I absorbed that. Not because someone told me to, but because the atmosphere showed me that this was what love looked like. And for a long time, I did not know I had absorbed it. I was in my late 20s when I finally saw it. I looked at my 6.5 years relationship. I looked at my business. I looked at my friendships and my relationship with my siblings and parents. And I started to understand that servant identity had been running all of it. I was present everywhere as a function, the one who organizes, the one who shows up, the one who gives, the one who fixes, but not as tab. Well, not as Szabó Tamás István. The servant identity was using me. That was the moment I decided to stop. I ended the relationship. I stopped talking to people, to friends, to parents, to siblings, and I narrowed everything down to what was essential: sleep, eat, work, experiment, and repeat. It was a messy road, I will not pretend otherwise. But it was the first honest thing I had done most of my life. So I've built new structures. I started focusing on my body, on my emotions. I started working out. I started dancing. I started experimenting with things I had never allowed myself to try. And slowly, I started finding out who was there when the serving stopped. The servant was still there. I did not remove it, but I found it out where it belonged and where it had taken over. So I took it, I narrowed its focus, and I gave it a direction. I started building from the foundation up. No one is late to this. As I said, I was 28. And some people arrive to this at 40, at 55. But if you are 25 or 80, you're at the right time as well. The timing is right when you actually see it. So there is the servant as one part. But there are others as well. You already heard me talk about the critique in the last video, and the comparer, the harsh judge. These parts are protecting something. If I get there first, nothing can surprise me. If I judge myself first, no one else can hurt me first. And then there is the part that disappears. When conversations goes wrong, something is said that lands badly, and before a single word comes out in response, something is already gone. Like the body is there in the room, but your mind, your focus is out there. And that is not a choice to leave. It is a part of you that learned a long time ago that being fully visible was not always safe. And it fires automatically. So it learned to make you smaller, quieter, less there. There are different parts and different strategies, and all of them are intelligent. All of them running in rooms they were not originally built for. When a part takes over the whole person, the cost does not stay inside you. It affects relationships becoming one sided. You give, they receive. The giving feels like connection, but the connection is not real because you are not really there. Only the part is. Friendships become performance. You show up, you help, you organize, you listen, and then you go home and feel completely alone. The same applies to your workplace. And after a while, it just becomes meaningless because you are productive, you deliver, and you are reliable. And none of it actually feels like you because it isn't. It is the part that's running the job while you're watching from somewhere further back. And this is not a character problem. This is what happens when a protective strategy becomes the whole operating system. The question is not what is wrong with you, but the question is which part has been running and for how long? I want to give you a practice. It's not a technique, it's more a decision you need to make. And the earlier you make it, the faster you'll find the foundation to build upon. We need to slow down, to stop, to give ourselves the space and time to reevaluate what we've been running on. Start something you have always wanted to start. Try one thing, and it's okay to stop and switch. Just experiment. Don't try to do a whole list. Just one thing that is yours, that feels closer to you. And the most important part, to carve 2 hours a week into your calendar that are sacred and non negotiable. Not productive hours, not useful hours, just you hours, the me time you deserve. When you ask which part has been running, name it. Not yourself, but the part. That is the servant running. That is the critic arriving. That is the part of me that learned to disappear. That is the 3 words of distance between you and the pattern. That is the beginning of choice. Showing up for yourself gives you more to give to others. This is why we are here. The people around you are not experiencing you, they are experiencing the survival mechanism. Your partner is receiving a servant, your friends are getting the performer, your colleagues are working with a controller, and if you have children, maybe they are watching the part that disappears when things get hard. And none of them have ever fully met you. That is the real cost. The relationships are real, the love is real, the people are real, but The version of you showing up is a strategy. What you interrupt in yourself changes what every person around you gets to experience. We've talked about the voice. Hopefully, you can name it. And you can see and name the part that carries it. The next question is what that part decided things meant. Because the meaning it assigned to what happened is not the same as what actually happened. And you have been responding to the meaning ever since. That is what we go into next. You are not the part that fires, but you are the one who can choose what happens next. We'll take this one layer at a time. No rushing, no quick fixes, just learning how the human system actually works, step by step. See you in the next one. God bless.